If you're a personal trainer and your money isn't where you want it to be, then this video is going to be the most useful one you've seen all year. It usually comes down to three mistakes. Three mistakes that kept me broke for far longer than I'd care to admit. And three mistakes that are easily avoidable. The first one is not doing enough outbound marketing. When you're a self-employed personal trainer, one of the biggest things that you need to do right at the beginning is simply let as many people know as possible that you even exist. That might sound obvious, but a lot of trainers just skip it. They get their qualification, they get their uniform on, they're looking good, they're in shape, and then they just sit there and wait for clients to come to them. But that's not how it works. It doesn't matter how good you are if nobody knows you're there. The best trainer in the world with the fanciest education is still broke if he hasn't got any clients. Outbound marketing, as opposed to inbound marketing, is simply being proactive and making sure you go to find the people rather than waiting an indefinite period of time for the people to come and find you. Whether it's calling through gym members, posting flyers, or just speaking to people on the street, you need to find an outbound method that works best for you, and one that you can do in a large quantity. Because the more you do, the more reliable it becomes. You stop hoping that a client will show up on your doorstep, and you start figuring out how to go and get one whenever you need one. Now, to give you some real life numbers, I use flyers for my outbound marketing. And every time I post 1,500 flyers on average, I get an inquiry come through my website. Now, for every 5 inquiries I get, 4 of those typically do a trial session with me. And for every 4 trial sessions I do, I typically convert 3 of those into clients. Now, with that being said, that means that if I post 7,500 flyers, I get 3 clients. Break it down further, if I get 2,500 flyers, that will on average equate to 1 new client. Now what that means is I've got the power to now say, right, I need a client, what do I need to do? Okay, I need to go do 2,500 flyers. Perfect. Problem is, a lot of people without an outbound marketing strategy are like, I really hope someone inquires, or I really hope that referral comes in, or I really hope like something, you know, it's not in your control. Outbound marketing puts it back in your control so that you can dictate and heavily influence the success of your business. Because at the beginning, you don't have people coming to find you. No one knows you're there. No one knows you're there. So you have to go to them. Now, if you're calling through gym members, you might have to dial 20 times before somebody even picks up. Now, how many times do you need to dial for someone to actually express an interest in personal training? It could be 100, it could be 200, it could be 300. But you could do that 300th one, and then that client could sign up to train with you 4 times a week. So was it worth the effort? Yes. The second mistake is not understanding early enough that personal training is seasonal. When I started out, I was 20 and I was naive, and I just thought that once you started making money, it just always went up. I didn't know anything about economics, I didn't know about the economy, I didn't know about markets. I just thought that you make more and more money as you go. Like I didn't understand that there was peaks and there was dips, not just in my earnings, but in the market in general, right? So with that being said, I didn't account for these fluctuations in my financial plan. I didn't understand that clients would go on holiday frequently, they'd get sick, they'd just suddenly stop training. I didn't understand these setbacks were coming. And because I wasn't ready, the setbacks hit harder than they ever should have. The money was there during the good times. The problem was I just didn't save any of it. I treated the money coming in like it was never ever gonna slow down. So I spent it at the same speed as I got it. PT income is like the tide coming in and out, right? You always know it's gonna happen. And as long as you know it's gonna happen, you can plan for it. But if you spend every penny when it comes in really fast, when the tide goes out again, you're gonna be left with nothing. The third mistake is not asking clients for feedback. When you train someone for months or years, it's very easy to drift. You both become comfortable. Sessions start to just feel like a routine, and it goes on for so long that neither one of you can really remember what was agreed on in that first consultation. The client's goal changes, their life changes. But at no point have you checked in to make sure you guys are on the same page. So now you're in a position where you're both just carrying on, avoiding the conversation, but you're working off 2 different hymn sheets. One of you may be thinking left while the other one's thinking right. And here's the thing, most people are very conflict adverse. So If there's something about the service and your sessions that they don't really like, they'd rather keep really quiet and almost just like avoid the conversation than speak up to you and express that there's something that's dissatisfying them. They'll just quietly grow to resent the sessions and how much they're paying you because they're not fulfilling the needs that they wanted. However, you might not know that because you didn't ask. Once enough resent grows, eventually the client just quietly stops training with you. And you're never really sure what happened. And almost always, especially with my own career, it can be traced back to the fact that I stopped asking for feedback. I just started going through the motions, and as a result, the wheels eventually fell off. It's super important that once a month you have a proper conversation with your client just to check in. Make sure they're enjoying the sessions. What are you enjoying? What are you not enjoying? What do you like? What do you not like? Are we still going at the same goal? What's been our progress towards that goal? Make sure you're having all these conversations because that allows you guys to make sure you're still on the same page. And that is a very small price to pay, asking for feedback for long-term retention of a client. And this kind of mindset of really valuing the clients that you've got is what actually keeps clients going from weeks and months to years. None of these mistakes are anything to do with you being a bad trainer. They're just small holes, small, very preventable, very fixable holes in your business plan. And as I say, the best news is that every single one of them can be fixed so simply. All you have to do is actually do it. And if you like this video, then watch this one next.